All right, you guys, welcome back. I am excited about this video because anybody who's been watching this channel a while knows that I love a good heel flip. So I was quite interested to start looking into the history of heel flips. So the first thing I started doing was asking all the people I knew who had been skating a lot longer than me about what some of the earliest heel flips or heel flippers they could remember were. And I wasn't getting back a lot of answers until somebody sent me to an Instagram page called NBD Archive. So on that page, there is some anonymous person who has been doing research for a few years and has cataloged all of the firsts on video that they could find. So a huge thanks to NBD Archive for helping make this video a lot easier for me. So anybody who's been around a while has probably found out that Rodney Mullen is supposedly the inventor of heel flips. Now this is probably true, but there isn't any footage of him doing any heel flips, probably because it wasn't really a complicated enough trick to take note. If you watch those old freestyle videos, it's just them doing like any and every kind of weird flippity doodad thing they do on their little weenie freestyle boards. And something as basic as a kickflip or a heel flip, I think, just didn't get a lot of attention. So there wasn't any footage of him doing heel flips. However, there is a very early heel flip in one of Natis's contest runs from 1986. So it's not a make, but you can clearly see that this is something that he's either done before or was going to do in the very near future and thought that he would just, throw it in there in the middle of a contest run. So that's the earliest recorded heel flip we can find. Now after that, we don't have any more heel flips coming on screen for another 2 years until 8th Street Shackle Me Not Jeremy Allen does a heel flip grab on flat. So that's the only recorded heel flip in 1988, and it's not until 1989 that Ray Barbee sneaks a heel flip in Ban This. And in fact, it's so stealthy that if you even blink, you'll miss it. And it's hard to tell what it is because the camera is all crooked and it just goes by in the blink of an eye. So, yeah, most people probably missed that one because they were so busy watching all of his crazy no-comply wizardry. Now, that's not the only other heel flip in 1989. We also have JTMR, John the Man Reeves, doing one down this little 3-stair in another one of those old 8th Street videos. Can't remember which one. But yeah, he's going for it with another heel flip grab. So that's all we can find for the 1980s heel flips. But once we hit 1990, that's where the heel flips really start to bloom. Although I couldn't personally find it without a lot of help because I only know the main videos, and the biggest video of 1990 was Blind Video Days, and there is not one heel flip in Video Days. So that kind of tells you where it is on the list of popularity. Like, it's not really up there. Everyone's still doing kick flips, backside flips, 360 flips have really come in. But there were some early heel flippers in 1990. So once again, Ray Barbee has another one. I believe it's on a bank in Propaganda. I know Sal Barbier's got some heel flips in an 8th Street video. And then we've also got Ed Templeton. Ed Templeton was definitely an early heel flipper. He's got a wicked one over a bank backside in Useless Wooden Toys. He's also got a bunch more in a 1991 release, but we're not quite there yet. Because any mention of heel flips wouldn't be complete without Rick Howard in Blockhead, something like Adventures in Cheese or some weird name. But he does a frontside shove it heel flip down a 2-stair, and also the famous Rick flip, which is a fakie big spin heel flip. So he's got one of those going down in 1990, and that's really ahead of its time at that point. Okay, so we could really get bogged down in heel flips from 90 to 92 because they really did start to explode. But I'm gonna focus on a couple of skaters that's gonna be a little more obscure that you probably never heard of. The first one is Armando Barajas. So in 1991, he's bringing in the nollie heel flips. I believe he has the second recorded nollie heel flip, not the first, but I'm sure he has the first recorded nollie laser flip. So he is definitely working the heel flips, albeit the switch ones. Now, here's a name that I bet you guys have never heard of. This was the one that surprised me the most. So Pat Brennan. It was in a Powell, what was the name of this video? It was something ridiculous. Celebrity Tropical Fish. So not only is he doing nollie heel flips and a variety of other ones, he's doing the first laser flips, which is insane. He's even got a laser flip down a 4-stair, which blew my mind that that was happening in 1991. That is clearly way ahead of its time, and I highly recommend you go check out that Pat Brennan part because he's got some other good solid stuff in there. Definitely a skateboarder I never heard of in a video that I had never heard of. So that was all 1991, and of course once 92 comes in, you know, that's where my knowledge starts to fill in a little bit because I'm really familiar with questionable video. Carol is obviously busting heel flip variations left, right, and center, out of nose manuals, out of nose slides. So at that point, heel flips are becoming well established. And then once we get into, of course, 93, like they're everywhere. We don't even need to go there right now. Anyways, you guys, that is a brief history of heel flips. Hopefully you enjoyed that part of it. And now, in honor of heel flips, I'm throwing together my most heel flippy montage ever. Well, that definitely was my most heel flippy montage ever. All right, so moving on, we should get to the answer of the question from the last video. So that was, who was my inspiration for switch frontside heel flips? It was absolutely and most definitely Pat Chinita in Secondhand Smoke. And in fact, not only was he my inspiration for switch frontside heel flips, he was like my inspiration for getting heel flippy in general. If you watch that part, I think it's about 2.5 minutes long, and you're at least halfway, if not more, before he even does a kickflip trick. It starts to look like he actually can't do kickflips. And then all of a sudden, for the second half of the video, there's a whole bunch of kickflip tricks. But it's just one of those weird things. So watching that video part over and over again definitely used to get me super pumped on just going out there and doing as many heel flip variations as I could. He definitely made me want to switch frontside heel the way he did them so easily. And of course, there was a ton of honorable mentions in the comments, you know, like JB Gillette, Paul Rodriguez, like there's a lot of good switch frontside heel flippers. I can't even begin to mention them because there's so many, we'll just miss them all. Anyways, that's what we've got for the switch frontside heel flips, and on to other business. We got to see what trucks we have left because we've shipped 4 out so far. Although to be honest, I haven't even heard back from anybody to see if they've gotten them yet. It's been at least a month since I shipped out the first pair. So they should start showing up. But anyways, let's check out what's there. Yeah, the pickings are getting a little slimmer. So what do we have? We have those 5.0 Ventures. We have the 5.6 Hollows. 5.2 Raw. We got the Indie Mids. And the 149 Standards went away. And that was pretty painful. So I'm going to be keeping my 139 Standards for now. Okay, so that's what's there. Hopefully you've made your choice. And now the question for today's video is, who is my inspiration for regular footed frontside flips? There's one person who I used to watch his video parts to get stoked on doing frontside flips and to analyze them and get them exactly how I wanted them. So leave that in the comments below. No, there's no hints, but you know what videos I used to watch if you've been watching this channel a while. Anyways, you guys, that's all we've got. Want to say thanks for watching, and you know, hopefully next week's video isn't so involved that I can actually get it out next week, because yeah, these videos, they take a lot of work to put together, so that's why I didn't do one last week. Yeah, you know, just lots of editing. Not exactly my forte. I just skate and build stuff and whatever. Time to go. You should go. It's time for all of us to go skate or do something awesome. Or do something we have to do and don't want to do, because you can't just do awesome things all the time. That's life, kids.